little fly tying studio. Today I thought that I would tie a zebra samurai, one of Michael Fredin's patterns, which I think that I will fish a little bit more next season when I'm in the Clearwater River, and also use it when it's a little bit cloudy and during the day. So I really like how this pattern looks. I haven't fished it so much, but let's tie one and you can see for yourself and decide for yourself if you want to try it or whatever. Here I've started with a GLITZ tubing extra small in black, and it should be a white medium GLITZ tubing, but I chose the glow in the dark GLITZ tubing. So this should be a very easy fly to tie, but let's see how it goes. And I will start with a Mirage Tinsel in the back, tie it in on my side, and just wind it on behind the thread so the thread can't be seen through the Mirage Tinsel. So just wind a couple of turns back and then we go forward again and lock it in. And we cut it off. And then as the back body here, we will use what's it called again? Diamond Pearl SSS braid. And I tie it in on my side. And then we widen it all the way down to where we secured the tinsel, Mirage Tinsel, and then we make the first turn to cover up all the thread, and then we go forward with tight turns to about here, lock that in, and I always fold it over and lock it in with a few more turns so it gets extra durable. Cut it off, and then I will use charcoal black, regular Fitz dubbing and GLITZ dubbing, which is these long thicker ones, and I like to mix them because it's easier for me to build volume if I use both, and I think it looks good. So first we just make a lump of dubbing here, because we will have dubbing in front of the wings. If you have seen my sea trout samurais, this is gonna be an original samurai, the zebra samurai. Oops. So behind the wings I won't be using as much dubbing as I will in front of the wings, like this, and then we will brush this dubbing out until we are satisfied with how it looks. That's enough. And then brush it down a little bit on the sides, and as always we check so it's not so long so it will tangle with the hook. Yeah, this is good. And then we will start with a white soft wing. And I I take away the fluff, and then I taper it a bit by pulling in the middle like this, and then I tie this in on top, and this should be slim because it's a samurai, so I try to make it as slim as possible on top here, and then we secure it and check so it sits in the middle on top, and just cut it off. We don't have to be so thorough here because we're gonna have dubbing in front of these wings. So a slim white wing, and the second wing is a soft black hair and straight hair. And I do the same with this one, take away the fluff. And then we try to make a little bit of tapering on this too. And we pull in the middle, fewer and fewer strands. This will be a good taper, and this one is going to be a little bit longer than the first one, like this, and we try to tie this on top as well, slim, and a loose turn, and I pull down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Check so it sits on top of the first white wing, which it does, and a nice long tapered fly, and the white is in the middle underneath, which I want it to be symmetrical. And then we take one more white wing. The first wing was not so much hair. The black is a little more hair, and the little top wing with white is less hair than the black also. To get good contrasts on this fly. Away with the fluff. And we try to taper this nice as well. This is going to be a little bit shorter than the black one. And I pull in the middle. Like this. Pretty good taper. And it gets to be about the same length as the first white, a little bit longer. And then we try to tie this one in on top. So the wing is slim. Check so it is pretty symmetric and right on top. And that's the wing sections. Maybe a little bit too much white on the top, but it doesn't matter. Nice to have some different flies, and that looks pretty good. And now a little jungle cock, two nice ones. Like that, and I want them quite long, so I line them up next to each other like this, so they're the same length, and then I take away the strands down here, and then we curve them a little bit so they want to press against the wings. Maybe they're a little bit short, but I think that we can use this. Tie the first one in on my side with a few loose turns. That looks quite good. And then we do the exact same thing with the other feather. Curve it a little bit. And then we want it to sit in the same spot and be the exact same length. That looks good. And a few loose turns. Like that. Is it good? And now I cut away the stems. And then we will put some glue here so that the jungle cock sits nicely and the wings that we've tied in gets nice and secured. So the fly is durable. So we can fish it many years. Like that. And now we will put on more dubbing in front, which makes it the classic, I think we can call it the classic now, classic samurai. I should have used less white in the bottom and less white on the top, but I think it's going to look quite good anyways. And I don't think the fish will mind so much because I think it looks quite good. And more dubbing in front. And now we wind the first turns as close to the wings as we can without pressing the wings down. Like this. And here I will tie up a little bunch, a little lump of dubbing. Like this. And just a few more turns in front of this lump with a little bit more dubbing. So this creates a nice drop form on this slim fly. Yeah, I'm happy with that. And I hold it back and just wind a few turns in front here. See that the last turns we are tied in the thread here is still on the medium tubing. And now we'll put on 2 hackles in front here. So I will go down on the extra small tubing. But first we're going to brush this dubbing out so it gets rather bushy. There's no flash or angel hair in the wing, but this black dubbing will give it a little bit of glitter and a little flashy. And then we try to take out the same amount around the fly so it gets rather bushy but symmetrical. I think that is fine. Just gonna check so they aren't too long, because we never want something to tangle with a hook. And that looks pretty good. And now it's time for the first hackle, which is going to be a black soft hackle. And I tie it, so I use these soft strands because they move a lot better in the water, especially when you use a turbo comb. So just cut this little triangle as we always do, and we tie it in in front here. I tie it in on my side, and I'm going to do 2 turns, maximum 3 with this one, and hackle plier, and then we pull back the strands so all the strands ends up on the same side of the hackle stem, the hackle stem. I think I'm going to make 3 turns. This is quite big fly, but on these flies, the samurais, there's not supposed to be so much hackle, but I think, come on, I don't want to break the stem, but just want to take away the, this is a very durable hackle. And then I lock it in on my side. 1, 2, 3 turns. Pull a little, like that. And then I use my little comb to see that the strands are spread symmetrically and even around the fly. I think it looks quite good. And now we will end this with a little bit of teal, which really gives this black and white samurai zebra a little bit of classic ending. And I will use 1 or 2 turns in front here, depending on how many strands and how tight the strand sits on the teal hackle. So just lock it in, and I pulled away the strands on one side of it because I don't need so many strands, and it's much easier to tie this on because the stem on a teal hackle is quite thick, so it's hard to have the strands on both sides and try to get them on one side of the stem. But if I take away the strands on one side, you don't have to fold them back. You can just make your turns like this in front of each other. And that is 2 turns, and I think that looks good. So I will take away the excess. It's hard to get it. And then I go back so I get it very tight. And then we lock it in. Shit happens. But there's no problem. Just start over. And now it should be the perfect amount. And then we lock it in. But why is this always happening? The stems on teal hackle usually doesn't break. But I am a master of breaking stems on hackles. And let's hope that it won't break this time. It's locked in. Yes. And then we lock that in. 2, 3, 4, 5 turns. And I think it looks quite good. I'm going to run my little comb through it to see if it's evenly spread. And it looks quite good. Yeah, I think it turned out quite nice. now first I will take this, I don't remember the name, Rainbow, of course. This is one of my favorites. Turbo Coneheads in Tungsten. This is rainbow colored. And put it in a little bit. If it's tight, I just twist it, turn it like this, and then I'm gonna glue the thread and make it a little glued thread head to push the turbo cone over and secure it. And now I try to make the turns on top of each other. So I don't want to go forward and I don't want to go backwards with the thread, because then it's harder to cover the little thread head with the turbo cone. And a little bit of glue right there to make the turbo cone head sit better. And then, as always, I use my Niklas Bauer's pike tube to press in the turbo cone. I can push quite hard, and then I use my other hand to stop it from sliding further up on the tube needle, because in that case you're gonna have to use a plier to get it off, because you push it in so hard that it's hard to get it loose. I think this looks quite good. And then we take it out of the vise and check it out. I think the spread is pretty good. And yeah, maybe a little bit down with this jungle cock. I just can pull it a little bit like this and it will end up a little lower. And then we cut off the extra small fitz tubing, and I leave about 2 millimeters here. I think this, there's a new lighter. That lighter's almost out. And then we just burn it a little by little until the plastic presses up against the turbo cone. And then I put it on the needle to make the hole good. There's a little long strands from the GLITZ stubbing, which is pretty long fibers, and I don't want anything to get stuck in the hook while I'm fishing. So here it is. My zebra samurai. And yeah, I'm quite satisfied with this one. This one will fish in a clear river on a cloudy day. And I think also you can use them in the dawn and in the dusk when it's a little darker outside. And yeah, I think it looks quite good. I'm happy with this one. I'm gonna fish it for sure. And thank you very much for watching. And if you want to follow my YouTube channel for more content like this, just click this picture of me here and hit the subscribe button and the little bell for that you get notification when I put on new stuff on YouTube. Or if you want to see another little film, just click on this square here with another film in it. And yeah, zebra samurai, a cool pattern, and I really like with the teal hackle in the front here. So thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you soon again. Have a nice day. Goodbye.